One of the most frustrating things about being a project manager is all the meetings you need to schedule and attend. Naturally, in project management, you need to get a lot of people together on calls, often from different departments, but sometimes in different locations and even time zones. It can be really tough. Some people will willingly accept your invites, others will decline, and then there are those people who will just ignore your invitations altogether. Even if everyone was willing to join, it's an immense challenge to find a time in the calendar that everyone can make. What if I told you it did not need to be this way? Well, in this video, I am going to be showing you exactly how I have been able to cut my meetings in half. All through some handy features in a free tool that I have been using. I now need to schedule far fewer meetings with my stakeholders and better still have reduced the need for them to join so many too. All while keeping everyone informed and involved in our projects and keeping them moving forward. The result? Everyone has more time and people really appreciate it. I am now going to be showing you exactly how you can do this too. But before I do, if you want to try this tool out at any time, there will be a link in the description below that will enable you to sign up and use these features for free. So I have just now navigated over to the tool that I am recommending for this process. It's called Fathom.video, and that is the domain and URL that you will need to visit if you want to give this a go. Now, bear in mind, I am in a demo account. For data protection purposes, I can't show you the call recordings that have taken place within my organization. But nevertheless, what I'm about to show you are the functionality and features that I am using in my day-to-day role as a project manager. Now, one other thing I want to mention is that if you do sign up, you can go through an onboarding process, and basically it will get you up and running with Fathom.video in as little as 5 minutes. It will show you exactly how it works and, better still, exactly how to use it for maximum impact. So what I've done here is I've opened up one of my call recordings. It's a demo call for this demo purpose. So what I want to show you in this video, it all boils down to this. This is the functionality which you really need to leverage, and it's called Highlight. Now, what Highlight enables you to do is at any point on a call, you can press a button, and what Fathom.video will do automatically is it will take a snippet of that call. You can see it here. That's what that blue colouring is here. It's a highlight. And basically, it will automatically stop when that moment of the call has kind of finished. People have stopped talking about that particular topic. But here is where the benefit lies. You can copy a share link. So next to that highlight, I'm just going to be showing you now. I'm going to left click on my mouse and you'll see it's copied. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into an incognito tab just to show you how this works. Now bear in mind, you do have the ability to adjust your kind of privacy settings. So, who can access this link and things like that. So, do bear that in mind. It does enable you to do that. Nevertheless, this link takes you directly to that clip of the video. It's only 25 seconds. So imagine how you can use this. This is what I'm doing is I'm sending these highlights to different stakeholders that need to see them. So instead of them sitting on a call for an hour, when only 20, you can make it as many highlights as you want, by the way. Let's just say your manager, as an example, is very, very busy and they need to know what's happening on a particular project. You could make specific highlights on that call and just send them a list of these highlights. It could be 3 videos of, say, 20 seconds apiece. You have, in a minute, you've provided them with a complete overview and you've saved them from perhaps joining an hour's call. And better still, you can save yourself time as well, because instead of you having to, you can just literally send a couple of links, or you can summarize this in a few short sentences. It will save you a lot of time in updating your senior management too. That's just one example. But that's what I really like about this tool, is the highlights. Now, the other thing you can do is you can also take action items. So it's functionality that works in a very, very similar way. But what essentially action items are, as the name suggests, it enables you to pinpoint specific things that need to be done where there's an action that needs to be taken. So that's kind of the difference between highlight and action items. But the functionality works the same way, because you can kind of
We'll also summarize what was being said.
Pinpoint specific parts of the call. Now, the other thing you can do, which is invaluable, is the whole meeting will be recorded and you can share a link to that meeting. So this is the full meeting. If I click this, if I was to open up an incognito again and put a Control-V there, this is the full meeting. So it's only 4 minutes at this time, but you've got the summary and the transcripts, and I'll talk you through that in a second. But if you did want to access that meeting at any point and what was discussed, the full meeting, then you can do that. But as I say, here's another huge bonus of Fathom.video, is that the calls are automatically transcribed for you. So you can go in and see exactly what was said. Better still, if you scroll down, all of this are kind of hyperlinks and clickable links. If I press this, it's going to take me exactly to that moment in the video. So let's just say, hypothetically, someone said something which is in your mind. Someone said the word complete, and you think, what did they say? They said complete, but I don't know what they said after that. You could do Control-F, type in complete, if I spell it correctly, and scroll down. You could find it highlighted and then click it. And it's going to take you to that specific part of the conversation. You can hear it again, and honestly, it saves you so much time in trying to find it. Then you've also got the summary, which is the AI generated. What it does is it looks into the transcript and breaks it up into manageable components. So as an example, it's given us key takeaways, it's given us the topics. It also lists all the action items and the custom highlights for links. Really, really invaluable. But if you want to save people a lot of time, you've really got to lean in and leverage this highlight functionality. It's also going to save you a lot of time as well. I've talked a lot about stakeholders and helping them out, but this is about helping yourself out as well. So how could you go about implementing this into your processes? Well, I've got a couple of email script examples I've written out ahead of time. We're going to continue with Susan as our stakeholder as an example. I'm not sure if I mentioned Susan so far. Susan is just a stakeholder that we are using as an example. So what we could do ahead of the call, we could send her an email or a message on Teams or whatever, just along the lines of this. Of course, this is just a template. You can adapt this to suit your needs. Hey, Susan, we are having a call today about Project Alpha, where we aim to discuss, and then you could put the agenda items or what you're going to discuss on that meeting. Well, I know you are interested in, and then here you could specify the parts of the project or meeting that they're involved with. The rest of the call may not involve you. I've spelled that wrong, so let me just update that. So I will be sharing highlights from the call with you after it is finished. That way, you don't need to join and you will still stay in the loop with what you need to know and be aware of. So that's the initial email that you could send. And then you could send a follow-up, something like, hey, Susan. You can say something like, the call went ahead as planned. Here are the links to the parts of the meeting I think you need to see. And that's when you could just copy all of these in, maybe put them as bullet points, maybe as a list, fewer the better really. And then you could say something like, the full meeting is here for reference. And then go in and copy that and put that in just like I've done here. Any questions, let me know. If you want to join the next meeting, let me know as well. Something along those lines. Thanks, Jeremy. So honestly, it's really, really invaluable. You can put these links on intranet sites or wherever they need to be. You can also just leverage a summary, as I say. The custom highlights, you can just copy and paste this. If that was useful, put it in the email. There's so many different ways you can do this. But what I'm trying to get across, the core message of this video, is that you don't need everyone to join meetings now, because you can take snippets from meetings. You can. Or even for yourself, if you can't join a meeting, you can get somebody else to record it for you and just get them to make highlights at the important parts. it can be really good for those meetings that seem to go on for a long time. Maybe you've got some stakeholders that like to have a jolly conversation and there's only a small part of the meeting that is valuable. These little this highlight functionality can really drive home the important, impactful parts of the meeting and just, as I say, save a lot of people time. So if you have any questions about this process or this tool, drop them down below and I'll do my best to get back to you on those and give you as much information as I can. As I say, the best way to see this in action is to try it yourself. There will be a link in the description below for you to head over and sign up for Fathom.video for free and just to test it and see if it meets your needs. So all that said, best of luck and I hope you have an excellent day.